Hi, yogis. Hey, it's Catherine with Yoga from the Heart with Catherine, and I wanted to get something out for this fine day and record something so that you had something out on your opportunities for later in the week. This practice is going to be a little bit of standing, a little bit of movement, so you're definitely going to need a blanket just for knees if you'd like to have that on the down part. And then also I have a couple blocks out. Might use them for support. I'm gonna do a little nice easy flow today. All right. And the first thing that we're gonna do though is we're gonna draw a card from my mindfulness cards. Like this little deck, this happens to be the green section, which is kindness. And green is the color of our heart chakra. So kindness kind of goes there. Yeah, pretty cool. And just to mark this day as a day for my recording, it's the day before my birthday. And it's been all, all things said, pretty good this year, even though we've had this weird coronavirus stuff going on and challenges that we've all had that this last year of my 58 years on this earth. Yeah, that's a lot of years, a lot of dirt. Uh, it's been good. And my health has been good. Family has grown. People have been here. Lost a few friends, lost a few family members, but there's always something to look forward to. And I'm looking forward to my 59th year here circling the sun and loving on the moon. So thanks for being part of that. You bring me joy, and I appreciate that. So for right now, I'm going to do is draw my cards. Enough of that sappy stuff, right? Okay. And shuffled here. And Charlotte is excited that we're doing yoga. Are you going to do some yoga with me? Oh, thank you. And I'm laughing because I drew this card next last time I drew from this deck. I'm going to draw a different card. Okay. And if I draw it again, then that's the reason to read it, right? I know you guys are going, Catherine, we know the rules. If you draw it once, you got to read it. And I've drawn it twice. So you know what? There it goes. It's remember kindness. I'm sorry, I'm laughing about this. We naturally are kind. Even our lowest moments when we feel useless or of no value, our inner kindness can give us the strength to pull through. Take 5 minutes to remember episodes of kindness and generosity you've witnessed or experienced, whether it was epic, heroic kindness worthy of a Hollywood movie, or something very small like giving a smile to someone who needed it. Remember these times in as much detail, as much color, as much feels as possible. And by keeping them in your mental wallet, you can always access them as a reminder that both you and the world are full of kindness and generosity. You don't argue with the cards, right? Okay, I'll read it at the end. So we're going to do a little bit of stretching, a little bit of warm up, and then go on to a down dog. All right. And a little different view for you all today. All right. So I've got my blocks here. And I'm going to prop one underneath my sits bones. And just give myself a little bit of lift in the legs. Sitting nice and tall, bringing that non-dominant hand to the top of my thigh. I'm right-handed, so my left hand comes down. The palm is skyward to receive, to recharge, to land everything that we are constantly giving away from ourselves. It allows, this is an opening, receiving thing for all of us. Okay. Let it cup, let it drop your arm and land in your heart. Our dominant hand rolls over to the top of the thigh in a grounding position, allowing that connection to connect. It allows us to keep this good, this kindness, this love, breath in us just for a while, not worrying about having to send it or give it to someone else. Okay. You sit tall and close your eyes if you'd like. Maybe let those eyes be downcast. And let your breath go in and out of you. Perhaps do a scan of your body, just identifying anything that is feeling great, or maybe anything that needs a little bit of push of love, of light internally. Acknowledge, recognize, and even as we're doing that scan through our body, maybe there's something you don't need anymore. Let it go. The breath flows in and out gently through the nose and out through the nose, keeping the lips sealed to allow the lungs to stay moist. The breath goes in and out. Sliding into a deeper breath with that inhale and that exhale, just slowing it down. Two more big breaths. Two more calming breaths. Mindful breaths. And as you slide into that second exhale, let your hands come into your lap. Just acknowledging all the good that you have within you. And when you're ready, let's bring our hands high overhead. Bring the palms together, and we're going to exhale, bring those hands into your heart center. We do this 2 more times. And on that third big inhale and exhale to heart center, here we set our intention, our dedication to your practice, mind's kindness and thanks. And when it's sealed and you're ready, let's open those eyes and press your hands high overhead, reaching the hands to the sky, big stretch through the spine, and opening up, letting those hands drift back down to your lap, rolling the shoulders up and down and back. I'm sitting on a block. You can be sitting on the floor, legs out in front of you, whatever seems to work best for your beautiful yogi self. I'm going to take my left hand and bring it to the top of my right thigh and walk that right hand behind me, nice and close, just as if I'm giving myself another spine, lifting up and exhale, twist, breathing in, exhale, easy, nothing too hard. One more time, breath in and out, just warming that spine, finding a little bit of flex as I bring my hands high overhead and moving the wrists, just finding a little bit of movement, fluttering the fingers, they'll need it. Dropping the right hand to the top of that left thigh and the left hand behind me. Nice and close to the body, just supporting. Inhale up. Exhale, twist. Not leaning into that palm, just letting myself know it's there. Breath in. And breath out. One more breath in. And I exhale just a little deeper. Oh, that feels good. And gently bringing myself back into center, hands overhead. Maybe just finding some alternating movement, moving those fingers, I'll get the word out, making fists, rolling the wrists, and letting those hands come nice and long behind me. I'm going to interlace my fingers and scoot the cat out of the way. Take nice big breath as I lift and draw those hands nice and long past the tip of my tailbone. Feeling a beautiful stretch through the shoulders, lifting the chin if that feels good, and maybe even taking a peek over that right shoulder. Sitting tall here. And inhale back into center, peek over the left. Keeping that neck nice and strong, flexing it. And back into center, gently letting those hands settle Just right down on the back, the base of my tailbone, dropping the chin into my chest. Acknowledging any tension, feeling a little tight. Let it go. Inhale, lifting the chin, letting the eyes go to the sky. And sighing and letting it come back down. I'm going to release my fingers and let them come back into the cradle of my lap, letting that left ear draw over to the left shoulder. And inviting the right fingers out to the side, maybe tapping them down on the earth and lifting them ever so slightly. Just a nice big stretch, feeling it from the top of my ear all the way down to those right fingertips. Letting everything come back into center, hand into the lap, chin, and then we draw the right ear over to the right shoulder. Not difficult, just a little bit of love as I extend the left fingers down to the mat and lifting them up slightly, feeling a nice, beautiful extension from the top of that head past the ear into the neck and the shoulder all the way down to the very tips of my fingers. Breath is good. If you hear snoring, it is not me, it's Annie. She's joined. And gently bring yourself back into center, rolling the shoulders up and down and back, maybe moving the head in nice, easy circles in one direction. And then finding stillness and turning the direction. Oh, I better open my eyes. I'm getting a little dizzy there. Sometimes that happens, right? Okay. Bringing the fingers to the tops of the thighs. And what you to do is if you're sitting on a block, just be mindful of where you're at. Otherwise, on your block, just walk the fingers to the front of the kneecaps and roll those shoulders in. You're going to find a little bit of a scoop through the back. Dropping the chin toward the chest. Finding a seated cat. I like to find opportunities to sneak in cat-cow. All right? And then big inhale, lift up. Draw the elbows in toward the sides of the body and lifting the chin and eyes up. Scooping that low back, finding that seated cow, sliding it back. There's a little bit of roll. I'm being very mindful. I'm sitting on this block. If I fall off, you guys know it'll be all my fault. All right. And big inhale up into that cow. Now, I'm feeling it. Settling back down. We're going to find ourselves into a tabletop. If you have a blanket here, you can go ahead and grab it, put it underneath your knees. I'm just going to put mine in here simply for a model. And we'll see if I need it or not. So I've got my blanket, and I'm going to scooch myself back so that the blanket is sort of just a little bit past the middle portion of my mat. It's wide. Now, if you don't have a blanket, a towel, a bath towel will work, or even a soft, wide cushion from a pillow that you might have in a chair would work. Even a rolled up quilt, something nice, not too thick. Okay, my knees are under my hips, the legs are shooting straight back so the tops of the feet are on the mat, and I'm dropping my hands so that the base of the wrist and elbow kind of line up underneath the shoulder. All right, now here I'm going to pull my belly button in so that it's closer to my spine, and feel my spine lengthen as I draw my shoulders down. Just a little bit of softening. I'll draw that chin in. Okay. And my eyes are just laser beaming right here, right in between those hands. Right? And with a big breath in, we're going to find cow by softening that belly and pushing the hips and shoulder and head up. And we're going to exhale into that cat. Just recognizing maybe this feels a little different than it did when we were in the other spot. Inhale up into cow. And exhale into that cat. One more time, nice and easy. Just resetting those adrenals, that fight or flight tendency. Stretching and flexing the spine. All right, and finding your way back into your tabletop. Again, settling those shoulder blades down, drawing the chin in. Yeah, feels good. Okay, now let's go ahead and tuck those toes. And make our way into a down dog. Okay. Now, tabletop is a beautiful transition into down dog. Okay. Just kind of dropping back down onto the knees, flattening the feet out so the tops of the feet are on the mat. Just rolling the toes, hoisting the hips, and just kind of powering up through the shoulders. And letting the feet be hip distance apart.
These are just nice little ways to remind yourself where you're at. Okay, my fingers are spread super wide. I really haven't even adjusted them from that tabletop pose. All right. And if you need to, you can step back a little bit and widen those feet. All right. Give yourself the opportunity to walk your dog or your cat. Goodness, cat, you miss me today? I know I was busy doing stuff. And I'm just going to lift and alternate the weight, pressing the heel down, bending opposite knee, maybe holding it for a second and breathing there, and lifting back up into that down dog, and just alternating, pressing the opposite heel and bending the knee. That feels pretty good. All right. And then nice and easy, what we're going to do is step the right foot forward, okay, and drop down onto the knee without, no, I guess I'm going to squish the cat out of the way, onto either that blanket or right onto your mat. I'm going to scoot my blanket out of the way. Let the cat have it. You can have it. It's all yours. And dropping down into a nice little lunge. Okay. Now my left leg is nice and long behind me. I've got the knee slightly behind my buttocks. And so there's a nice extension of this left leg all the way back. It's just so good on the hip flexor. And I am using my right thigh as a support. I'm framing my hands around that right foot. The right ankle is underneath or slightly behind my right knee. Okay, and I'm going to walk my foot out, that right foot, just a little bit. Right. Now, what we're going to do is just slowly glide back into a hurdle. Just lifting the toes on that right foot and shifting my weight so that my hips kind of go back toward that left heel. And body's over that thigh on the right side, and then gently just center myself and lean forward. This time I'm going to do is lift the chin, continuing to let the right side body be supported on this right thigh. It's okay, just kind of resting the outside of my ribs there, right? And glide the hips back, lifting the right toes, keeping the chin up, feeling a nice big stretch for that back. All right, and then this time as I bring that right foot down, walk my hands a little bit closer to it, to tuck my left toes, straighten up, flatten those palms, and lift and bring that right foot up, giving it a shake, finding a little bit of a three-legged dog, maybe bringing it over to the heel and hip on that left side. A little bit of movement, that feels good. And then straightening it up, pointing to the sky and dropping it back down into down dog. Now, if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I think I need to come down, do that. Come into that tabletop. Give yourself a little wiggle. It's okay. All right, flex the fingers. And then we're going to find our way into the other side. Okay, so hands are anchored in. We're in that tabletop. Tuck the toes, hoist and find those hips back up and down dog. And if you're in down dog, you can go be walking your dogs. Lifting up that left foot. We're going to step it forward and between the hand, not worrying about the cat. Framing the foot on that left side, dropping that right knee, and just finding a nice little stretch. Really extending out that right leg, feeling it in my hip flexor. Now, again, my outside of my ribs are just kind of tucked down onto this left thigh. And one of the things I noticed is that I had my heel back a little bit, so I'm just going to work it up, walk it up just a little bit so that the knee and the ankle are kind of in alignment. And I'm also going to heel toe that foot out just a little bit, giving myself a nice wider stretch through the hips. All right. My hands are there for balance. I'm going to exhale and push, dropping those hips back toward that right heel, lifting the left toes, keeping my chin up. Nice stretch for the left leg. As I inhale, bringing myself forward, once again, just letting the body frame onto that left thigh. Feeling it. And then exhale nice and easy back. Once again into that hurdle. Maybe just acknowledging anything that's tight. And last time, bringing myself forward. I frame my foot. Pressing the hands into the earth. Tucking my right toes. And lift, bringing that left foot up. Shaking it out. Bringing the heel over to the right glute. And just a little bit of movement. Always feels good to find a little love in that three-legged dog, straightening the toes back up and settling that foot down. Yes, Feels good. Feels lovely. Walking the dog and my down dog. Maybe dropping down onto your knees if you need to, finding tabletop, rolling those wrists. All right. And then joining us back here in down dog as we start to find a little mosey toward the middle of the mat, walking the feet toward the center, and then gently letting the hands walk back. I'm going to bend my knees tons, lots and tons. My feet are right under the hips, and I drop the elbows onto the thighs. All right. Just kind of giving that back a little bit of love. Yeah, nothing crazy here. All right. Just shifting the weight a little bit side to side. And feel a little bit of support for the back, for the hamstrings. Maybe even up into the quadriceps, all those muscles that support our legs, the thighs. Yeah. Just shifting the weight side to side. And maybe you need to walk your feet out just a little bit. You can do it. Okay. And then we're going to find stillness. And I'd like you to do is just to start to straighten up your legs just a little bit. Nice and easy, but keep yourself over the thighs. Right, those elbows are still connected. All right. Just kind of straighten up your legs. All right, now I'm going to leave the left arm. And what I'm going to do is lift up enough that my right arm just kind of dangles straight from the arm socket. And the hand is just drifted close to the mat. I'm going to find some circles here. All right. 3 or 4 times in one direction and pause and go the other direction. All right. That right leg's somewhat straight. All right. And then I'll pause and bring my right elbow back to the right thigh, bending the knee. Finding that little squat. Moving side to side. Yeah, feels good. Okay. And then pause. I'm going to go the other side. So I'm going to just straighten up those legs just a little bit. Finding a little lift. And drawing that left arm down. Maybe straightening a little bit of the left leg. Not super straight, just extending it. Finding circles here. And then go the other direction. All right, my eyes are following that hand. Just kind of hang in there. All right. And then slowly bend that left knee and bring that left elbow back to the thigh. Finding that little squat, that little supported skier's pose. All right. And then gently find stillness and bring yourself up into standing. Yay, standing. We love standing. Yes. All right. And move your hands. Alternate your feet. Get assy with those hands. And lift the head and the shoulders. Maybe your knees and toes. Yeah. Fun song. And just breathe. Maybe swing your arms in a nice, gentle way. Maybe widen that stance. And give yourself a little shoulder rug. And then when you are ready, bring yourself back in to stillness. I want you to make your way up to the top of your mat. All right. Let your feet be heavy into the mat. Yeah. I have mine about a little narrower than my hips. It feels good. But I think I'm going to widen them just a little bit. Push my heels, push the pads of my feet very heavy into the earth. And as I do that, I'm going to shift my thought and draw it up my legs, up into the knees, into the thighs, and into my low back and into my belly, starting at my root chakra and up through the chakra system. And just kind of allowing myself to really connect right here. All right? And get to my shoulders, I'll roll those up and down and back and let the arms hang heavy. The palms are facing forward. Right? And that breath, it's just moving in and out. And here, I want you to bring your hands high overhead and just reach them up. And we're going to exhale those hands into our heart center. Do that 2 more times. Let the hands come heavy. Bring them up high overhead. And exhale into heart center. Drift them to your hips. Open them up. This time as you bring them up overhead, maybe push the hips forward just a little bit, finding a little bit of a back bend. And then back into center. Bring those hands to your heart center. We're going to bend at your knees. Gentle, gentle. Just enough so that you can start to bring yourself down into that forearm supported squat. And bring the hands down to the mat. And step your right foot back. I'm going to drop down onto that knee.
and move forward and back into that low lunge. Nice and easy. Just let it flow and let it move within you. Okay. And then the next time that you are forward, plant those hands and tuck that right toe and step your left foot back into down dog. Yeah. And shake your tail feathers. And just move a little bit, walking that dog. All right. And then we're going to find stillness and we're going to step the right foot forward. Yeah, dropping down onto that left knee and moving forward and back. Just seeing how this might feel versus the first time. You notice I'm not really cueing you to place your hands and move your feet. I want you to just naturally flow here, all right? And the next time as you're forward, go ahead and roll over those toes on that left foot. Now listen carefully. I want you to kind of step up and step that left foot forward all the way to the top of the mat. Find that forward fold. Maybe bring the arms onto the thighs if you need to, all right? And then gently sweep and bring yourself up into standing, hands overhead. And we're going to exhale, hands to heart center. Doing this 2 more times. Hands up high. Do the other side. Okay. Back to heart. Hands up high. And stepping those hands to heart center. Finding that forward fold. I'm going to step. I'm going to remember how to do this. I guess we're going to step. Yep. I'm going to step our right foot back. Yeah. And drop down. Did I do it right? Hope so. And then move forward and back. Yep, I did. Forward and back. Nice and easy. Okay, just alternating the sides and the love for the body. All right, and the next time you're forward, go ahead and tuck the right toes. Bring yourself up into that little supported step and step your right foot forward up to the top of your mat. Soften those knees and inhale all the way up high to the sky. Maybe finding a little back bend because we forgot to do it last time. And back into center. Okay. Hands all the way down. Letting those hands just support you as you step the right foot back, dropping onto that right knee and moving forward and back. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. This time as you bring yourself forward, pause there and bring those hands up high overhead. A little bit of a curve in the spine. And exhale, bring those hands down to the mat. I'm going to tuck the right toes, lifting up and step it forward. Yeah. And inhale all the way up into standing. Oh my gosh. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bringing the hands down. Yeah. Stepping the left foot back. Dropping down to the knee. Moving forward and back. Nice and easy. Just loving, opening up. The next time you're forward, go ahead and bring yourself to stillness. Bring the hands to the top of the thigh and all the way up high. Back down to the knee, to the mat. Tucking the left toes. I'm going to step it forward. Yay! Inhale all the way up into standing. Pushing those hips forward and back into heart center. Nice little sweet beginner's flow. Bringing your hands to your knees, dropping down to the mat. Get yourself a drink of water. And if you have your block or two, or your blanket or two, bring them alongside your hips. We're going to find a seated butterfly. I'm going to get a drink of water too. Okay. And with the seated butterfly,
very first thing is that just find a nice little scoop of the knees. The soles of the feet come together. And this little diamond that you've created in here between the heels and the inside of your thighs, it can be as big or as little as feels best for you. And I'm going to offer, if you need it, take a block, just kind of support the outside edges of your thighs. Okay. Nothing crazy there. It's just a nice friend to have. All right. I'm going to sit nice and tall. Soles of the feet are there. Maybe let your fingers just drop easy into that little diamond you've created. Fingertips are there. Maybe it doesn't feel so hot and you want to bring your hands to your thighs, your arms to rest. And you close your eyes, connect with that intention. Yeah. And let your breath just be very mindful as it flows through you. Inside of the hip flexors, those little connector pieces, our legs and our hips. They're probably feeling a little love, a little warm. That's okay. And if you'd like to, you can move your fingers maybe to the tops of the heels and lengthen up through that long spine, maybe in the inside pocket here. And then just exhale. Start to curve your chin in toward your chest. Doesn't have to be deep. It doesn't have to be crazy. We're just finding a nice big stretch. There are all those supporting muscles that love on our spine and our hips. Breath in and out. And then gently just lift, and bringing your fingers back behind you onto the mat. You can stay in that butterfly if you like, or straighten out your legs. I'm going to stay here, walking my hands just a little bit away from me, pushing my palms into the earth, and just going to arch through that spine, letting my head hang heavy, the eyes and the chin lifted to the sky, to the heavens. And then ever so easy, I'm just going to walk myself back up into that beginning spot, letting my fingers come to my shins, my knees. All right. And then slowly I'm going to roll my feet so they come to the soles onto the mat and bring my knees up, kind of like closing the pages of a book. All right. And from here, here's what I want you to do. It's just slowly make your way down onto your mat. Okay, your knees can stay to the sky. And maybe walk those heels out a little bit so that they are on the edge of your mat. Your toes are draped off, and this is the long edges of the mat. You can bring your hands to your belly or alongside your body or your cactus and just windshield wiper those knees left and right. Okay. And then when you've done both sides equally, go ahead and take a nice, slow little drift over to your starting side. I'm starting on my right. I'm going to bring my arms out like a cactus. And my eyes feel good looking at the sky. I'm just going to hang here for a breath or two or three. Oh. And then the next breath in, bring those knees back into center and let the knees drift over to that opposite side. Okay. Really feeling the hip flexors here. Yeah. It feels good. Yeah. Annie's snoring, not me. Promise. Next breath in. Go ahead and bring those knees back into center. And the heels are still on the outside edges. Just drop the inside from the knees all the way up to the tops of your thighs together. Maybe press the back of your head into the mat, the back of your neck, and let your spine really connect. Pressing your belly button. Let it feel heavy going back into your spine. Visualizing that. Okay? Just letting the spine lay flat. And do what you feel best for your hands to support this posture. All right.
And with your next breath in, just separate those knees and let the back relax. The heel toe your feet back into center. Bring those knees into your chest. Bring your fingers to the tops of the knees or maybe behind the knees and just gently move side to side, rocking and rolling. All right, maybe alternating a little bit of the hips, drawing one knee in closer to the chest and opening up. You can do that. All right. And with your very next breath in, find stillness. Bring those knees into your chest. Bring your head up off the mat. Pull yourself in tight. And gently let your legs go nice and long. And find Shavasana. Okay? Scooting the legs out. Maybe you got your bolster. It's underneath your knees. Maybe you're using those blocks under your feet. Maybe you just taking up as much space as you need. Separating the feet, letting your hands drift out to your hips. It just feels right. Doesn't it feel right? Yeah. Big breaths in and out. Letting this Shavasana just soak in deeply where it needs to go. You stay right here. I'm going to get that Remember Kindness card. Yeah. Okay. We are naturally kind. Even in our lowest moments when we feel useless or of no value, our inner kindness can give us the strength to pull through. Take 5 minutes to remember episodes of kindness and generosity you've witnessed or experienced, whether it was epic, heroic kindness worthy of a Hollywood movie or something very small like giving a smile to someone who needed it. Remember these times in as much detail, much color, much volume, sound as possible. And by keeping them in your mental wallet, you can always access them as a reminder that both you and the world are full of kindness and generosity. You never know when somebody might need a boost of kindness from you, right? Whenever you are ready, go ahead and stretch, move, and flex your fingers, your toes, your shoulders, your nose. Bringing your awareness back here. Roll yourself over to that favorite side. And let the hands just kind of guide you into a seated position, crossing the legs or having them nice and long out in front of you. You choose. And I sit nice and tall. And bringing those hands up high overhead. Pressing the palms together, we're going to exhale and bring them into our heart center. Namaste means the light in me honors the light in you. And I do. I honor the light, love, the beauty, the truth, the kindness in you. Because it's in me too. And with these things shared, there is nothing different or distant between us. We are the same. And thankfully one. From my very grateful heart to yours. Namaste. Thanks for making time for you. For sharing your light, turning up that kindness, being the best you can possibly be. I appreciate it. So does the world. Until our paths cross again, know you're missed, and thank you. I'll see you soon. Bye.